Hello everyone. So today we are back to our English learning plan and I'm going to start with some jobs. Like you are in Matthew 2, perhaps in few years, like Matthew 3, 4, 5, 6, you will go to college, you will go to a university and you will study for your college. So, when you study in a college, you study something to become something. You might become an engineer, you might become a technician, you can become a pharmacist and work in a pharmacy, in a hospital. So, now it's the time to understand your liking, what do you like to work when you grow up. Now you're this tall and slowly every year you become taller and taller. You reach Matthew 6 university like Assumption University and maybe some other university. You go to Bangkok University, another university, to go in a bigger class, which is called college. And few years in college, 1, 2, 3, you become, either you become a doctor, you become an engineer, you become a pilot to fly the aircraft, different occupations. So now is the time you learn what can you become, like your parents or like your uncle, aunt. They might be working in a bank because they study something related to money. Like bank jobs are basically focused on money. You slowly will understand when you grow up. So just to give some idea how the job world works, how the life goes on, and you become more happy, and you make your parents happy. Your mom and dad will be happy if you study well and you get a good job or you have your own business. They will be happy. Your father, your mother will be very happy. Your teachers like me might be very happy too. So let's think about it. Jobs and occupations.
Farmer, a person engaged in agriculture, raising living organisms for food or raw materials. Chef, a professional cook, typically the chief cook in a restaurant or hotel. Firefighter, a person whose job is to extinguish fires and save people.
So 4 kind of jobs. You could become a farmer. Agriculture, you grow something in the field like vegetables, fruits in your field, agriculture field, and you sell it in the market, and your occupation is a farmer. Okay, second one was, let's watch again.
Farmer, a person engaged in agriculture.
So he has hay. This yellowish thing is called hay. Hay, hay packs. So he's picking up from his agriculture field and he's putting it in his truck to sell it, to take it somewhere. Okay, so the first occupation
Raising
might be a
living
farmer.
organisms for food or raw materials. Chef,
Chef works in a kitchen. It's not a small kitchen. You see, it's a big kitchen. Maybe it's from a hotel, and you manage food to be served to 20 customers in the hotel. So the person who controls a team of people, team of cook, different helpers, assistants. He's called chef, and he's an expert how to make it, how to make good food dishes, and make them, like decorate them, make them look more beautiful in a nice. So chef is who went to a university or maybe a college and did his education in the field of cooking. So it's a professional job. He has to run the kitchen, he has to look after the cutlery. He's an expert to order supplies, like what spices you're going to add, and he controls the full kitchen. And he has a team of helpers. They are like learners, trainees, assistant chef, and there are more team to support his logistics, like his plates, his serving bowl, his utensils. They have to be cleaned every evening when they close the restaurant or the hotel. So chef is another occupation.
Professional cook, typically the chief cook in a restaurant or hotel. Firefighter, a person whose job is to extinguish fires and save people.
So you see a firefighter, there's a yellowish thing which is sort of, this yellowish thing is fire. This is the man, he's dressed in a suit to fight fire. He's throwing water through the pipe on the fire to stop the fire. Because of water, the fire will stop. So it's an accident, and he is helping to stop the fire. And you see another fireman helping a young man who is hurt. He is injured because of fire. He is injured. He might have jumped from somewhere, or he might be like little hot here, or maybe more. He might be burned. So he needs help. So the second fireman is carrying this person to the ambulance. And these firefighters have a big truck full of water. They are dousing the fire through the water. And this seems to be a house, a TV, a window, and shelves. It's a house setup which is right now on fire, and fireman is helping to save the property, and the residents, the family who is living there, the person who lives there, they are helping them, and they are saving property from getting more damaged. So this is another occupation, what they call it, firefighter. So you might have seen big trucks in the town, firefighter trucks. They come with a big siren. They want to save time. They want to reach the place quickly. They want to take the injured people to the hospital.
Construction worker, a worker skilled in building offices, homes, roads, bridges, etc.
Okay.
School teacher, a person who teaches.
Did you just notice construction worker? Construction worker is a person who is going to make buildings, who helps people in construction. Like you make a building, you make a school, you make a hotel, you make big condominiums. So it is called field of construction. So this person who is a construction worker, he might be helping the engineers, other people to finally do the project of making a condominium, or making a hospital, or making a big building, making something really amazing, big shipyard, a big like beach walk, trail, maybe a road. So these people who work for physical construction are called construction workers. And the next occupation is school teacher, like me. You see a teacher and you see 4 students in a classroom. They are teaching, it looks like mathematics. 7 plus 13 is equal to, so you might become a school teacher. If you like teaching, if you like talking, if you like explaining, if you love children, like I love children, I like talking to them. So I like this profession. I like my profession of being a teacher because I like children. I like to talk to them. I like to explain. I like to talk about something and explain it to young students. They ask me question and I tell them more and more, and they become knowledgeable. They learn things and they remember things. And every day they learn little bit, small information they store in the brain. And slowly they become knowledgeable. When you know a lot of details, a lot of information, you become an expert and you can go into different fields. So a teacher's job is to impart knowledge, to tell about certain subject, explain it to students through different newer techniques. You have laboratories. A science teacher works in a laboratory. A physics teacher might take you outside and show you sun. He might show you like real physical items. He might do experiment in sunlight. He can work in the night to make you understand things related to physical world. So physics teacher, chemistry teacher, mathematics teacher. So you can, if you like mathematics, if you really want to become a teacher, you can become a mathematics teacher. But you have to always be attentive in the class to understand things properly. And if you don't understand, you ask your teacher, or you go through the book. You look inside the book and read it and try to understand. So slowly you will develop this habit and you will be able to know a lot of things through your books, through internet, through different websites.
In a school. Pharmacist, a person who dispenses medicines to patients and offers expertise in the safe use of prescriptions. Archaeologist, a person who studies human history and prehistory through the excavation of sites. It is to understand what people of the past were like and how they lived. Professor, a person who teaches in a college or university. Professor is officially a teacher of the highest rank. Factory worker, a person who works in a factory to manufacture goods or operate machines processing one product into another. Surgeon, a physician who cuts the human body for the purpose of removing diseased tissue or organs, to repair body systems, or to replace diseased organs with transplants. Yoga instructor, a person who teaches yoga, a group of physical, mental, and spiritual practices or exercises which originated in ancient India. Air hostess, a woman employed to look after the passengers on an aircraft. Receptionist, a person who performs various administrative tasks, including answering telephones and giving information to the public and customers. Astronaut, a person who is specially trained to travel into outer space. Judge, a person who presides over court proceedings either alone or as a part of a panel of judges. The judge is supposed to conduct the trial impartially and, typically, in an open court. Auto mechanic, a person who repairs cars, and their main role is to diagnose the problem accurately and quickly, and repair a specific part or the replacement of one or more parts as assemblies.
Let me
To
quickly
manufacture goods
recover all the
or operate
information.
sites. It is to school teacher, a person who teaches in a school. Pharmacist, a person who dispenses medicines to patients and offers expertise in the safe use of prescriptions.
What you see is there a person behind the desk and the name pharmacy on the top, and you see different medicines around, so you can understand who a pharmacist is.
Archaeologist, a person who studies human history and prehistory through the excavation of sites.
So archaeology is related to historical items, like he is in front of you see this structure, he's there to find out what was there like 100 years ago, how did things change. So he's called an archaeologist.
It is to understand what people of the past were like and how they lived. Professor, a person who teaches in a college or university.
Professor is related to a job for senior students like you. After 7 years, you will be in a university and you will be taught by a professor who is an expert for higher education, more advanced stuff you understand in a college or a university.
Professor is officially a teacher of the highest rank. Factory worker, a person who works in a factory to manufacture goods or operate machines processing one product into another.
So factory is a place where you manufacture items like table lamp, like cell phones, Apple phones, Oppo phones are made in a factory, and this is called conveyor belt, and you will see different cardboard boxes on the conveyor belt, and you see this person smiling and working, taking care of his job as a production worker, in a factory worker. So you could, with your basic education, you can go into production management. You could become a production engineer, or you could become an electrical engineer who is taking care of factory setup machines. You could become a hardware engineer and you can take care of production controlled through a computer hardware. So you could be a computer hardware technician, you could be a computer engineer. So different occupations related to factory. F-A-C-T, factory.
Surgeon, a physician who cuts the human body for the purpose of removing diseased tissue or organs.
So do you see a hospital room? It is called operation, O-P-E-R-A-T-I-O-N, operation theater. So this is a room meant for surgeries. So surgery is a verb. You handle fixing body. You do different surgeries in different parts of the body, and the person who does surgery is called surgeon. So surgeon and surgery. So it's a big operating room, and you see this is a patient, this is a person who needs surgery. And this person seems to be either another doctor or maybe an assistant doctor or maybe a nurse. So a team of different people handles the surgery. Doctor, main doctor, nurse, and there are assistant surgeon, and different people are experts in their field. Like main surgeon might be a person who is an expert in that particular surgery. Then this person has his eyes closed. Did you notice? The patient has been given some medication to make him, he looks like a boy from the haircut. So he is unconscious. His eyes are closed and he doesn't know. They are performing surgery on his body. So he has been given anesthesia. Anesthesia is a chemical to make him unconscious. So there might be an anesthetist before the surgery started.
Repair body systems, or to replace diseased organs with transplants. Yoga instructor, a person who teaches yoga, a group of physical, mental, and spiritual practices or exercises which originated in ancient India. Air hostess, a woman employed to look after the passengers on an aircraft. Receptionist, a person who performs various administrative tasks, including answering telephones and giving information to the public and customers. Astronaut, a person who is specially trained to travel into outer space. Judge, a person who presides over court proceedings either alone or as a part of a panel of judges. The judge is supposed to conduct the trial impartially and, typically, in an open court. Auto mechanic, a person who repairs cars, and their main role is to diagnose the problem accurately and quickly, and repair a specific part or the replacement of one or more parts as assemblies. Shopkeeper, a person who owns or manages a shop or small store. Pilot, a person who is trained to fly an aircraft. Hotel porter, often the first person to greet guests at a hotel. They help guests by carrying luggage and showing them to their room, advising on hotel facilities, and running errands. Police, the official organization that is responsible for protecting people and property, making people obey the law, and catching people who have committed a crime. Fitness instructor, a person who leads, instructs, and motivates individuals or groups in exercise activities, strength training, and stretching. Sports coach, a person who is responsible for providing expert training to athletes in a sport, by analyzing their performances, instructing in relevant skills and by providing encouragement. Waiter, a person whose job is to serve customers at their tables in a restaurant. Pianist, a person who plays the piano, especially professionally. Call center employee, a person who handles incoming or outgoing customer calls for a business.
Have you heard of call centers? If you have some problem, your on your, like sometimes with the bank, you call your bank or your call goes to a call center. So these guys in small cabins handles the call, incoming and outgoing calls. Big companies have specially deputed call center employees. They take care of incoming calls and they will help you with your problem. They will take care of your call. You will say, my card is not working. Okay, let me check. So he will open a computer or she will open her computer and ask your name, some information to make sure you are the correct person. The security check is done because card is an important area. They might ask you your name, your last name, and some security questions like your father's name, first name, year of your date of birth, just to verify that you are the genuine person. Then they will see in bank's database, oh, your card did not work because you went over the limit of money. You decided you don't want to spend more than 2,000 baht in a day, so you put a limit. When you open up your account, you say, don't allow any transaction more than 2,000 baht. So they'll say, sir, you used your card to pay an amount of 2,200, so you went over the limit. So bank did not allow your transaction. So you understand, oh, I didn't realize I used my card on a transaction more than my limit for that particular day. So you say, oh, thank you so much. I will either raise my limit or I will not use over the limit of my per day transaction. So that's how the call center employees work. But you should be able to speak nicely. You should be able to speak some more languages. Sometimes you have customers who don't know Thai, like some foreigner who has an account and he can't speak Thai, he wants to speak English. So if you know more languages than one, more than Thai, some other language, you have a good qualification. You have more than what you need and you will be offered such a job. Or if you want to study higher sciences, sometime the higher education is in English, or maybe you are on an internship to some foreign country, and if you know English or a different language for that particular education, you are lucky. So learning more than one language is a good idea. Or if you are on a tour, if you are a tourist to Switzerland maybe, or you travel to some other country, Australia, or maybe to Japan, and if you know Japanese, it's easy for you to travel. You will enjoy your tour.
Home baker, a person who bakes bread, cake, or other baked goods at home.
So bakery, cooking food and cake is another qualification. If you like cooking, you know how to use different additives, spices, sugar, fragrances in the food, the flavor. If you like this area, you could become a home baker. But this area doesn't have many openings. You won't find a lot of vacancies. They don't need many bakers. So be careful when you select your occupation. You should know that you are in demand. If you are an expert in information technology, you are in big demand. If you are good in computers, if you are good in like handwork, surgery, or if you can remember things, you can become a doctor, you can become an astronomer who is very good with knowledge. He can take care of flying a rocket, do different computer related activities. So some occupations don't have much options. You are limited to like 50 vacancies in a small town about home bakery. But in a different area, you might have more vacancies. Like you might have a lot of banks operating. If you are good in finance, something related to banks, money, and if you like these areas like credit card, investments, or trading, or handling different people, talking to different people in a logical way. If you know different languages, if you are very good at your basic criterias, you have more jobs, more occupations waiting for you.
Typically a home-run business. Bank teller, an employee of a bank who is responsible for handling customer financial transactions like deposits, withdrawals, transfers, money orders, and checking. Forklift operator, a person who operates a forklift truck, a small vehicle with two power-operated prongs at the front that can be slid under heavy loads and then raised for moving and stacking materials in warehouses, shipping depots, etc.
So
Grammarly
let's
can help
review
you write
some
quickly and
vocabulary
confidently, so you
here.
never have to slow down at
There you
sing.
go.
Draw. Whose tools are these? Artist. Artist.
Artist.
Where do you work in? I work in a studio. Studio. Whose tools are these? Carpenter. Carpenter. Where do you work in?
Did you notice she's asking questions and she's using word whose room was that? Where do you work? Who is she? When is she going to work? So when you ask questions, you use, remember W words I told you? So try to practice these.
I work in a carpenter's shop.
Carpenter shop. Whose tools are these?
Whose?
Cook. Cook.
Chef, cook.
Where do you work in?
Where?
I work in a restaurant.
Chef works in a restaurant. Cook.
Restaurant. Whose tools are these?
Okay, think about it. You see a first aid box, you see a thermometer with 36 degree, which is showing 36 degree, and you see stethoscope. You see a stethoscope and an injection. So does it ring a bell? Like they're talking about hospital related job. Let's see. Doctor, she's a doctor.
Doctor.
She is a doctor.
Doctor. Where do you work in? I work in a hospital.
So hospitals, nursing homes, medical center, same thing. Hospital is a bigger setup. Medical center may be another bigger setup, or clinics where they don't have like indoor facility. They'll diagnose and send you to a hospital. Then different departments in the hospitals, and you see this is a backbone. You see my mouse scrolling, backbone. This is the red sign on the left. This refers to heart. So the heart is this shape, almost this shape, and let's go up there. Then there are government-run hospitals, then there are private hospitals like Samvite's hospital, Bangkok hospital. So you might sometime go around and understand different jobs. Look how people are working. There are different departments. You will see receptionist, you will see security guard outside, you will see helpers. There is a person who is next to receptionist, and there might be different departments. Like you will see an outpatient department, OPD. Then there are specialized departments for babies, for ladies, for problems related to bones is called orthopedics. Orthopedics department related to kids is called pediatrics. And slowly you will understand, and your basic idea, what are you thinking behind your brain? Do I like this work? How much money I will be making if I become a pharmacist, if I become a receptionist, if I become a doctor? There's much more money, but you have to have more education, more determination. You should like science. You should be able to understand bigger concepts about body, health. So you should have energy and willingness to learn because you like your future job. So you can just decide, oh, I like how these medicines are displayed, and this pharmacy guy, pharmacy person is helping people buying their drugs. I can become a pharmacist. So in a big hospital, you will understand different jobs and what is your plan for future after you graduate from a big university. So you should, wherever you go, try to analyze what do you like, how much the job makes, do you like what a job needs. What this particular job needs is shifts like morning, evening and night. You might have to work in a shift, a doctor on the night duty, or in a pharmacy on a 24-hour job, or pharmacy sometime you open until 8 p.m. A restaurant job will close late in the evening, about 10 p.m. because people come for dinner. A normal office job will be 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. A teacher's job early, like 7:30 in the school, and you end up 4:35, depending on. So different jobs requires different skills, different level of commitment. So you should try to match your liking and your future, or if you really want to, if you're good in computers, you could think of getting into the field of computers. Then do you like more on hardware side, or do you like something work through the software which is restrained inside the computer? You learn different softwares. Sometimes you make softwares, sometimes you run them, you learn how to use different softwares. So if you go to a big hospital, big factory, try how things are reaching to an end, how a product made in a factory reaches to a big mall, to 7-Eleven or big C. How does it reach? They make it in the factory, then they distribute it through trucks. Then there are marketing managers who market their products. They're a big team under marketing manager. There are finance department who will procure money, who will request to a bank to get money for their factory. Then there is a product development department who is a scientist who develops those items. Like some medicines are developed in laboratory first, like COVID vaccine, things like that.
Hospital. Whose tools are these? Engineer. Engineer. Where do you work in? I work in a factory. Factory. Whose tools are these? Farmer. Farmer. Where do you work in?
I work in a farm.
Farm. Whose tools are these? Firefighter. Pilot. Where do you work in?
I work in an airplane.
Police officer. Scientist. Scientist. Where do you work in? I work in a science lab. Science lab. Teacher. Teacher. Where do you work in?
I work in a school.
School. Cook. Doctor. Engineer. Farmer. Firefighter. Hairdresser. Pilot. Police officer. Scientist. Singer. Teacher. Vet.
Okay, we're done. Thank you very much.